Today, we're going to look at Apple's newest product, the iPhone 4S. It's not every day you see a phone made entirely out of glass. The beautiful thing about the 4S is its simplicity. In fact, it's so simple, it really only needs the use of 2 buttons. It's sleek, smooth, sophisticated, but sturdy. And that's amazing to believe considering it's only held together by these 2 small screws at the bottom. When the iPhone 4S was released, everyone really wasn't that happy. In fact, people were so upset that there was no iPhone 5, when they announced the 4S, Apple's stocks dropped by 3%. That may not seem like much, but in the business world, that could be life or death. One of my favourite things, though, about the iPhone 4 and the 4S is the looks. The way that the iPhone 4 holds itself. With most phones, they're kind of slick, they're smooth, they have curved edges, such as the 3GS had curved edges, the 3G had curved edges. But with the 4, they deliver a new kind of feel. It's sleek, yet strong and masculine, and it's sophisticated and it's smart. Even Brad Pitt has a hard time doing that. Another one of the new features of the iPhone 4S is the antenna. It's actually split and can do the 2 different networks, GSM and CDMA. That's really useful. It's great if you're traveling abroad or to another country and there's limited service on different networks. But that's not really useful for me. I'm just a young teenager. I don't really have a way of traveling around the world to test this, so I guess that's one of their new features on the 4S that's kind of useless for everyday use. After that disappointment, we'll have to look at the next new feature, the camera. Cameras are something that always excite me, so when I heard the news that the 4S was going to have an 8 megapixel camera, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it and try it out. If you look on the left, you can see there's the original iPhone, the 3G, the 3GS, the 4, and the 4S. You can see extreme close-ups are quite difficult to get good quality pictures on. So it's always good to see that Apple's improving. Usually when companies release something new, they improve. So we know that Apple versus Apple is a success. But what about Apple versus professional cameras? One of these 2 pictures is a $3,000 professional Panasonic camera. The other is the iPhone 4S. Yep, you're right, the brighter one is the 4S. I'm not necessarily saying that the iPhone 4S has a camera that's better than the camera that I filmed this review on, but without any editing, it sure does look a little bit sharper. One of the more practical new features of the iPhone 4S is the dual-core A5 chip. Apple says it's the most powerful iPhone ever. Sweet. In fact, the iPhone 4S is so powerful it can load apps 4 times faster than the old iPhone 4. To show an example of this, I opened the app Infinity Blade. We all know that's a very, very demanding app, and the graphics on that are absolutely mind-blowing. On my old iPhone 4, it took about 14 seconds from the loading screen to load up the app so I could actually play the game. On the 4S, it took me about 4 seconds. That's phenomenal. One of the biggest features that Apple has been advertising is Siri.
What can I help you with?
A voice recognition software. In the past, I've had a very, very difficult time with voice recognition software. I'll find myself asking rather simple questions and interpreting them as being absolutely absurd and nonsense. I'll ask, where is the nearest store? And it will send me to the nearest cheese connoisseur. It's quite absurd, it upsets me. And when they announced Siri, I thought, oh great, just another voice recognition software. But then I saw the keynote speech where they tested it and they showed off what it could do, and it kind of blew me away. It kind of made me think, wow, I wonder if that will work with my voice, because apparently my voice is prone to not work with voice recognition software. So I thought I'd give it a try. I asked it, what's the weather like going to be tomorrow? And lo and behold, it told me what the weather was going to be like tomorrow, and it told me it would be sunny. And I was pleased. You know, voice recognition software is great. It's good to have a little personal assistant in your pocket at all the times with a strange voice. But my question is, what purpose does it serve? So far, I've used it for two things. I ask it to remind me things, and I ask it to call people when I'm driving. Besides from that, I don't really need to use it for anything. For instance, when I open up the weather through Siri, it takes at least 10 seconds for Siri to realise what I'm asking and to bring up the weather forecast for tomorrow. Sure, it tells me it's going to be raining, but I could just look at that and read it from the weather app. The time it takes me to open up my phone, swipe it across and press the weather app is much faster than the time it takes me to hold the home button, wait for Siri to allow me to talk to her, let me ask the question, and then answer the question. It seems we're just adding more steps in there just for the sake of it. The thing that upsets me right now most of all, though, is that Apple is kind of renowned for saying, what can we take out? What can we get rid of that makes them so special? The fact that they are removing things to make it more simple and more amazing, that's what blows me away. But the issue that I see with Siri is I feel like they're just throwing that in there and saying, this could be cool, let's add something new in there. But I don't know if it's that great. Sure, it's cool, sure, it talks to you and it acts as if it's your friend because you don't have any friends, but I'd rather my friend talk to me instead of telling me what the weather's going to be like or remind me to wake up in the morning. Sounds more like a mother to me. Overall then, the iPhone 4S is a great phone. Is it great enough to upgrade from the 4? Probably not. So, here's my overview. The antenna is great if you're a businessman, pointless if you're a normal human. The camera is amazing, it blows away every other camera out there. The processor is fantastic, one of the fastest and most powerfulest phones I've ever seen. And then finally, Siri is kinda cool, could be useful. I don't find much use for it. So, if you own an iPhone 4, I wouldn't bother with the upgrade. But if you don't own any other iPhone, then I'd say, go right ahead. That is extremely fast.
When she was just a girl, she expected